Good evening and welcome to another brand new game on the channel. We've finished Cubic Odyssey demo, so now we're going to go into Foundry. It has just had a big update. The Galactic Commerce update 2 has just dropped, so we're going to jump in, we're going to give it a try, we're going to have some fun. I have also been live streaming this as well, so I gotta know what I'm doing. It says with all the confidence in the world, but we're going to start a new game. And there are a couple of different planets you can now play on. So Foundry is the default planet, the way the game was, meant to be played. Paradox Planet is a planet that features an abundance of resources. So that's probably easy mode. And then we've got an ice planet, which has got a little more resources than average. So it's a little bit better than average. Metals are slightly less frequent, but it features a lot of olumite. So you might have difficulty finding the iron, copper, or the xenoferrite and technum, but plenty of oil in that one. And then this one, resources are evenly distributed. So this one's probably the balanced planet of all of them, and doesn't have any sort of bonuses to help you or any negatives to hurt you. So we're going to play on this one. We're going to play on Thallium. You can change the resources to do whatever you want to do here. So you can absolutely go and do mega train world thing, which would be nice if we actually had trains, which we don't yet, but we do have spaceships, so you can do this. So we're going to play on this, and I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that seems very, very good. And we're going to call this YouTube because why not? So I'm going to leave the intro in, and we're not going to play creator mode. That's fine. And critters are just in the world, so they don't actually do anything. They're just fun. So let's leave that. Let's go and play.
Welcome, operator. I'm Carl, your Facility Management Artificial Intelligence. Congratulations on acquiring a building permit and a derelict space station on this resource-rich moon, an ideal spot for industrial business endeavors. My goal is to assist you in setting up this factory. Let's run a few basic checks before we get started. Open your map to check your surroundings.
Okay, so we have landed on this tree planet. Lots of trees. We own a station in orbit. There it is. It's a little bit broken. It's a fixer-upper, so that's fine. And I am going to play through the tutorials, so we're going to be listening to Carl for a fair bit here. So let's see what's this like on the map here.
Fantastic. There are several ore patches in the vicinity. Equip your ore scanner from the inventory and use it to locate the ore patches.
Nice. Okay, so we've got a fairly decent bit of land. Lots of trees, which is a little awkward, but yeah. We're gonna have to clear an area to build a factory for a little bit of trees. So, but anyway, we need to equip the ore scanner. So bring up the inventory, and you can either to equip things. You can either drag them to the action bar and then press the corresponding number, or you can just right-click them in your inventory and it will bring them up. So, boom, scan. So we have xenoferrite.
Approach both of the ore patches and mine some ore. And
we have technum. Xenoferrite is basically iron, and technum is copper. So, but they've given it fancy names. So, okay. Let's mine some xenoferrite. Then wants to mine 100 of each. So. Let's do the absolute bare minimum. There we go. That'll do. Let's go to the other one here. You do want to mine all of it up, but want to try and save up these pieces. Where I want to try and be as efficient as I can. So I need to re-equip the scanner and scan again. It's that way. There it is. The trees are in the way. Lots and lots of trees. So, and the numbers inside there are the coordinates. So it's X, Y, and Z. Y is actually up and down, not left and right. So when you're looking in the minimap, not the minimap, sorry, the compass in the top left corner, you see we're at 17 by 41. That is the X and Z. The height is the Y, which is pretty obvious to anyone who understands that. But for some other games, they use X and Y as left and right.
Now that we have an initial supply of ore, we need to smelt it into plates and rods. Go back to your drop pod and use the built-in smelters to create your first crafting materials.
Hello. Oh, look at him. Pet him. Scratch. Yeah. Awesome. So we're going to dump the xenoferrite in here, pack the xenoferrite in there, and that will make plates for us, which will be very, very nice. So let's let that cook. I'm going to go and mine the rest of the resources off the top of the ore nodes. Okay, all the nodes have been mined out. We can take 51 rods from there and 52 plates from there.
Now that we
Excellent.
have basic materials available, we should start crafting building blocks which act as a foundation for other buildings. To do so, you need to open the crafting menu and click the desired items. Then, place them in the shape of a platform next to one of the ore patches. The orange ore will be in higher demand. I suggest starting with that.
Okay, so we want to make some building blocks, so I'm going to make all of them. We can make, because you make 20 at a time, so that's probably a bit too many actually. So let's cancel that and do one more. So let's get 100 building blocks, and we will put them down here. Again, you can just right click in the inventory and build from there. Boom. So let's put them down next to the orange ore. Like I said, there's might be some trees in the way. We'll have to mine them out, which is fairly simple. You just drill the trees. Oop. Get rid of that one too. Oop, there we go. Awesome. Okay. So let's put it down here, shall we? Let's go 3 by 10. That's 30.
To automate
Awesome.
ore extraction, we need to set up a drone miner. Craft one and place it on top of your foundation right next to the ore patch.
Okie dokie. Let's craft a miner. And a miner. A miner. That's the correct term here. We've unlocked loads of new technologies as time goes on. So we can build loads of new things, and recipes that are kind of grayed out like this, that have a dash next to them, you can't make yourself. They can only be made in a machine. So okay, let's put you down here. So we can rotate these around, and you'll see it has a panel option. You want to kind of be able to see the panel like easily. So we want to put it here, and you see it says 58 mineral blocks in range, so it can reach half the xenoferrite. If we put it right on top, it'll reach all of them, but it needs to be on a foundation for power. So put that down there.
Drone miners and most other buildings require power to function. Let's build a biomass generator on the same foundation as the drone miner. Once built, you need to harvest some plants and trees with your mining drill to collect biomass. Insert the biomass into the generator, and it will start to power all buildings on the same foundation as the generator.
However, we need to make some more xenoferrite plates for that. So let's come over to here and let us... The problem is we can only put all of the xenoferrite we have in our hands in this. You can't edit this to do a little bit at a time, so it's kind of wasteful, but I have no real choice. Oh, there you go. I've just got to dump everything I can in there. And again, we want to save the xenoferrite and technon for the smelters, because the smelters are way more efficient. But this is all we can do right now. So let's let this melt, and then we're going to go and build a biomass burner. What do we need for a biomass burner? We need xenoferrite plates, electronic components, and technon rods. The wonderful thing about this is, even though I do not have any electronic components on me at all, if I click this, you'll see down the bottom here, it's got a little option in the corner where it's making wire, then it's making the resource. So it makes everything you need for it. You don't have to make all the individual components to then make the whole. If you have the resources to make the whole, it will make all the individual components and boom, put it down there. So awesome. No annoying faffing around with different things, and yeah, very nice. I'm going to put the biomass burner here. Well, not biomass burner, biomass burner here. And then we're going to dump some biomass in it. Now we've already got biomass that comes from trees, so oh, there you go.
Go watch your mining drones acquire your first automated ore. Aren't they beautiful?
Come on.
Anyways, we need to get going. Let's build a smelter next.
And then we'll mine the blocks down. The blocks is not infinite. It's not an infinite amount of ore. They will gain some more out of it. You can find out how much ore you're on, I believe, if you push V to bring up the tablet and then look at it. It tells you how much ore is left in each block. So that block they're mining there has got 621 ore. They grab 2 at a time. Did they grab 2 at a time or grab 1 at a time? I think they grab 1 at a time, but they can pick up like 3 or 4 in one go. Yeah, so he's mining out quite a few of them. That's why it's going down 2 at a time. Yeah. You can't find out how much the entire block has that I know of. Oil, however, it does tell you what the entire area is for oil. So, or sorry, oil you might, not oil. We want to craft a smelter next, which requires more xenoferrite plates. Good job we have some of them on the smelt. Yoink. And yoink. The screens you can just interact with normally. You can just click the buttons on there. Or if you're a little bit further away and you're having them push E, you can bring it up. So you don't have to be right next to them. You can be a fair distance away, sort of that distance. Press E, bring them up in the screen, and then you can interact with them whatever way you want to do it. So you don't have to be right next to machines. So for instance, when I said here you need to see the panel, what I mean by that is you need to be able to see the panel like this so you can interact with it, do things with it if you want to. So I can't do it from here, so I can either walk up to it and physically push the buttons on here. You see I can click the buttons to drop things in there, or I can be sort of here and do it. So you have options. I'm going to make 2 smelters. I just want to make another xenoferrite plate, but for the minute we're going to make 2 smelters because I want to do one for xenoferrite and one for techum. Okay, right, so let's put down the smelter. I'm going to put him down over there.
The smelter is more efficient than the inbuilt drop pod smelter, so you should start using this from now on. Another benefit is that we can automate the smelters to make our life easier. For this, you need to connect the drone miner to a smelter by using loaders and conveyor belts. Let's start by crafting the required machines. 2 loaders, one for the smelter and one for the drone miner, as well as a few belts to connect them. While you're crafting those, let us recap the plan.
Right.
We will set up a basic factory to provide us with the most crucial resources to get started. Then we'll look at getting the space station up and running again so that we can use it as a sales hub for our future products.
Okay, galactic commerce, there we go. You cannot input into a smelter via the interface straight away. You have to manually put in one type of ore so it knows what recipe it's doing. So click manage inventory, you bring up your thing here. So we want to put in xenoferrite here. So if I was to hold shift and right click and split this in 2, put that in there, you'll see the recipe appears here. Now it remembers recipe. Even if it runs out of ore, it will remember the recipe. So I can take these back out again, and it remembers that it was doing xenoferrite plates. It knows that. Whereas this one says waiting for item. So now I can push the down arrow there, which is the input arrow, and it will put all the xenoferrite from my inventory into the smelter. So if you're ever wondering why you can't just push that button, why it doesn't seem to want to work for you, you have to make sure for the very first time, kind of quick insert machine before you insert any allowed item. So boom. You can manually, you can automatically put in stuff via a loader that will auto set the recipe for it. So yeah, if you're wondering why is it not working, you have to manually do it once first. That has caught me out before. Simple. This is full, so we need to do something with this. So let's get our belts down here, and let's put the loaders down here as well. And let me grab a couple more iron plates because I need a couple more belts, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay. In the inventory, single click is massive. So left click craft one item, right click will craft 5, shift right click will do 100, and shift left click does as many as you have resources. So quite useful to know. However, pay attention, like for instance with these, you're making 20 at a go. You're not making just one. So if you shift right click and go, I want to make 100, you're actually going to make 2,000. So be aware of that. Just be aware of that. It's very easy to do that sort of thing. So, okay, how do we connect the machines together? We want to connect this machine here. Now, these are the inputs and outputs on the sides here, the little gates. They're the inputs out. So we want to connect those together. So you do it via a loader and a belt. The loader that you see here, it's got building on one side and belt on the other side. If you click up against the building or look up against the building, it will automatically snap to the side of that building, which is quite nice. And the base at the bottom there, the base part of it must be on a foundation that is powered, because loaders require power as well. So this is valid because I can put that down there, and boom, that loader is powered. Awesome. Now it sets output automatically because it knows this can only output and can't accept any inputs, so it sets to output. However, if you want to change that, so if you want to go here and want to change it to be a different one, you see it says automatic on it. If you hold right click, you can choose output, input, What do we want to do? So we can go, this wants to be an input, and we see it says intake. So you can set it out there. Default means that it kind of tries to guess what you want to do. Most of the time it defaults to input, but sometimes you want to have an output as well. So yeah, so I tend to manually pick things. So let's also bring the flashlight up because it gets very dark at night. And now we want to run a belt between these two. So we can, if we mouse to this here, it puts the belt underneath it automatically. Let's rotate their belt round to face the right direction, and then you can just click and drag. You can click and drag a belt, and it will do a right angle, a 90-degree angle for wherever you are. If you want to run a belt around things, go to any point you want to go to. Be like, okay, so let's run it along here, down here. I'm still holding the mouse button down. I'm not let go. Push R, creates a new point. Then you go to the next point. Push R, go to the next point. Push R, go to there. But there you go. That will put a belt in that goes all the way around that. So, you can do wonderful things with the way belts work, and yeah. I'm not sure about how going up and down is possible. I haven't quite figured that one out yet, but it's in there. So, and if you want to go back, it was T. This is that bottom there. T for last point. So T takes you to that yellow point, that one. Boom, no, about there. We just want a straight line, but the belt building is awesome in this game. Very, very awesome. So yeah. Okay, and you can see now. So this is output onto the belt, which means the drones can now start going mining. Although, well, again, the belt goes along, goes to the input. The input takes into the machine. The machines only take the amount of items that they need to never stop running. And by that, I mean they don't fill their inventory like we did there. We dropped in loads of xenoferrite and filled the inventory. They will take enough for, I want to say, 3 operations. So the operation they're on, and then the next 2, like 2 more after that. So this takes, I believe it's just 1-to-1. It is 20 minutes. That it's 1-to-1. 1 xenoferrite to 1 iron xenoferrite plate, which is better than that, which is 2-to-1. So it will take 3 into it. So it does 3. So if a machine requires 2 plates and 1 Tekken rod, it will take 3 Tekken rods and 6 plates into its inventory all the time. So it has the 1 set that it's doing, 1 set for the next one, and 1 set for the future. So if you're thinking, well, why is the xenoferrite not going into the smelter? Why is that? Well, because it's full. It's full to itself. That's it. Full to the recipes it's doing. So, yeah. Okay, we need to craft some more conveyor belts, which means we need some more plates. So let's grab the plates out of there. Oh, no, it was the wrong button. I want up. Grab the button there. And again, I do this a lot. I will jump up and basically face plant them with the screens to get things. Well, I know I can just push this button here and grab that way if I wanted to, but I forget to do that a lot. I tend to run up to things. And we will automatically output stuff from that in a moment. That's fine. We're just still getting there for a moment. So we need to craft 20 more conveyor belts. I'm going to right click to craft 5, which makes 10, which should easily do the thing there. And we have up and down.
You have the machines necessary to connect the drone miner to the smelter. Now attach a loader to each machine and connect them with conveyor belts.
Oh, we did that already. I jumped the gun. However, it's not going to continue on because at this point, it wants us to push F2 to view the tutorial tasks. Now, in the game, if you push F2, you have the information database, which tells you, basically tells you all about things.
Moving items by hand. Isn't automation great? Now it's time to scale up and build more smelters. A single belt full of ore can feed multiple smelters using the power of loaders. The info database has a diagram if you need one. A loader only adds enough items at a time to a machine to ensure it doesn't stop. This makes it easy for you to have multiple machines fed by a single long belt.
Thank you, Carl. That's what I was just saying there. I jumped the gun there. So here the first production line has a sort of it shows you can output multiple onto a belt and go multiple into machines. Yeah, but this has all the information you need. If you're ever stuck on something, push F2 and have a look through and see if you can find some things here. And then there are this means you haven't read this one yet. So boom. Okay, so here it is. This is the one. Automation is one. So loader slots. On the side of the machines there. The input output toggle button. There is actually a physical button on them as well to change them. So if you put down the wrong one, you don't have to delete it. You can just push the button. So. Connected multiple machines here. Oh, that's hold on, that's automation here. So it's machine miner, output loader to the belt, input loader to the assembler. Not sure why it says assembler. That should be smelter. That's incorrect, but yeah. You can T-section belts as well. So belts can connect to each other. You can load onto a belt from another belt just directly. And splitters turn up later. Loaders can put some conveyor belt curves. We'll cover unload fair to a strap. Yes. So see here. This has got. How can I, let me show this. Let me show this. It's gonna be the easiest way. If I put another loader down, you'll see. So if I put a loader down here, you will notice this loader is open. Let's take it back to an output, so it's the same thing. It's open on the front and open on the side. Because we put a belt that goes out the side, it snaps this front bit shut. So you cannot have a belt turn a corner here. It has to come straight through. Same for this one. If we do a belt out here, so it's outputting directly this way, you'll see the side is shut. So we can't then fill into this side point here. We can go into there. That's valid. That will load the belt on the side there. That's fine. You can do that. But you can't go into the side there. That will stop it. So that can be useful, however, for things like for instance, we have this belt going out there like this, and this one comes out this way here. It means the belt won't mix together. They'll be separate belts completely. We don't have to worry about them accidentally plugging into each other or doing things wrong. However, if we were to have a belt that comes in from this side to here, like this, now this is technically one belt. So anything that comes in from this side will end up on the over there, and the belts take priority over the outputters, the loaders. When they're outputting, will only output to an empty belt. So if something is on the belt, they will not output. So right now, this loader is unloading the miner. This loader is doing nothing because the belt is always going to be full. So bear that in mind if you have something else coming in from a long way, that it takes the one on the end of the belt, the very last one, will be the priority that takes the belt. So let's do that there. Just push an F to remove items there. So okay, right. So we need to place 4 smelters. He said 4 smelters. Let's get rid of this tree here. You're in the way of the tree. Whoa! When it falls down, I know you can pop, and then it shrink away. Okay. So let's do this here. You can as well. You can press Q to copy items. I've actually changed that in the keybinds to middle click, but you can press Q to copy items, or you can go Shift and Q to copy an item with the recipe. So it's not valid for these here, but if you have a assembler later with a recipe in it, you can choose to copy it with the recipe, so you don't have to set the recipe on every single machine. So, yeah, I actually changed the pick to middle click because it's just easier for me to do that. And then emotes are changed to be this one, so you can dance. Woo. Oh no, I haven't got my top hat on. We'll have to fix that. So, for anyone who brought the special edition or the pre-ordered version of the game, I can't remember exactly where we got it from, but many moons ago there was a version of the game you can get. Might be able to still get it now. You get the deluxe version, which gives us a hat. We give a hat. Also, you can change it. You just go to the pod, click on the door, and you can choose the color of your character if you want to change the color of your character to whatever you want to be. So everyone defaults to orange, and then you can go through and pick whatever color you want to be. So yeah, let's be a white robot, shall we, with a top hat. Well, okay, apply. There you go. And you can change your mining drill and other machines when you get them. You can change the color on the hit. So same as character means it's just whatever you change the character to. But I could say, hey, I want a purple mining drill. I'm going to be the Mace Windu of the mining world. So I am now a white robot. If I bring up my drill is purple. So a little bit of customization, kind of for multiplayer. You can change your color for multiplayer and make yourself be whatever you want to be. So, okay, let's put down 2 more smelters. 1, 2.
We have completed our initial mission of setting up a smelting facility. We've done a great job, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
According to our business plan, new machine blueprints will be created from research. My archive contains plans for a research server. Through material analysis, I should be able to provide a beacon blueprint, which we are going to need to notify the station of our planetary location. Let's get going and build a research server.
We will, but we'll do that in a moment, because what I want to do is I want to set this up over there at the Techem as well. So we're going to want to have a couple of foundations. Now we have some foundations. I've somehow got some xenoferrite on me as well. let's put that in here and change this recipe over. Let's put an input on there, and we will have this put here. One thing to note is that if you have a belt facing the direction, you can't drag it the opposite way. You must drag it 90 degrees to the way it's facing. So you need to initially have the belt facing the right way. So boom, there you go. I'm not going to pick these two up. Okay, and then I'm going to go into bulk demolition mode. And click here and then drag out and click here. I cannot for the life of me remember what the default key combination for bulk demolition mode is. I have changed it to just be X on the keyboard, so I can't remember what it is, but yeah, bulk demolition mode. You click once in one corner, you drag out, and then you click again, and then you drag up, and it creates a box and deletes everything in the box. Everything you've placed in the box. So be very careful you don't accidentally destroy your machines. So. Okay, so I want to make a couple more of these guys. I want to make one of these. I want to make one of these. We have enough belts. I need 3 of those. Got 2 of them. I want 1 more of those, don't I? No. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3. I've got 2 of them. Oh, so the bottom right corner is what we've got. Okay, let's go over to the one which is over here. He says, there it is. Ooh, I didn't know what I was doing. Whee. Okay. Let me clear some trees, and I'm going to build the same thing that we built over there, over here. And we put some biomass into here. And away we go. The drone should start mining. Good to go. Awesome. So I chose to put this one in the ground because the distance the miners have to go does actually matter. They obviously have to travel to the block, mine it, and then come back again. But the less distance they have to travel, the faster you will get your ore in. Initially, at least anyway, because they will eventually eat these out and have to go out further. Sometimes put it in the ground, kind of works. That's fine. So. Here we go. So you're going to grab 3, and then you're going to pass that onto there, 3, and then the belt's going to back up, and everything is awesome and wonderful. A little trick as well, if you don't want the biomass, which for now we do, but later we might not want the biomass because we're going to have other ones. If you dig, rather than digging, if you dig under a tree, this, he says trying to dig under the tree and failing dramatically. Oh, there you go. Tree disappears, and you don't get the biomass. I've already had biomass on me, but you don't actually collect the biomass when the tree disappears. So you can dig underneath a tree or a thing to not collect the biomass. I don't know why you'd ever want to not collect the biomass, because I mean you can just stash it in a box and not worry about it, but yeah, it's an option. It's an option. Let's go and top up the biomass generators, see if they run out. Obviously everything's going to come to a halt, so let's top that up there. So we want to build a research center now. So now we're automating xenoferrite being made and techum, which is nice. Did we have anything left inside the smelters here? Yeah, let's grab that. Grab that there. You can deconstruct this as well and then put it down somewhere else if you want to move it. It is always at 0 by 0. So if we stand underneath it, you can see we are exactly at 0 by 0 in the compass at the top. So this is center of the map technically, and out it goes. We've got techum and xenoferrite. There's xenoferrite there, but it's unreachable because we need to apparently mine underground for that one. So that's okay, we can do that. But yeah, okay, so we need to craft a research center. We can do that. Under science here, we're going to craft a research center. So click, and there you go. We also want to craft a couple of science packs. So I'm going to make like 6 of them or something. I think it's 3 we need, so I'll make 6. The research center requires power and drains a bit more power than you'd expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to build it here because the xenoferrite demand is usually higher than the techum, at least early game. So I'm going to come over here instead, and I'm going to build it over here. Let's get rid of this and around there. And providing the foundations all touch each other, at least in one bit, so that is valid. That will transfer power between itself. So we can do sort of this. And we can put down our research center here. This. Oop.
To advance in research, you need to make science packs. Craft a few by hand and insert them into the research server to research the beacon blueprint.
Okay, so the
previously
research,
prepared
how does the research
drop
work?
pod with an
Well, we want to put in
additional robot assistant on the
science
station.
packs.
We can call it once we've placed the beacon.
Very cool. We want to craft research, which I've done. Craft some research packs. They are machine parts and tech and rods, so that's easy enough done. Let's click and drop those in there. And we want to go to the research engine now. Either you can do it via the interface here, or wherever in the world you can just push G and it comes up with the research interface there. We can only research one thing right now, which is the emergency beacon, but later, as you can see, it splits. So once we make the assembler, we can then choose to go down this path or this path here. And this is not the only thing. Let me zoom out here. So this is, yeah, so you see it sits here and then it splits over to here. You've got more over here. You've got more down here. You've got a lot. The tech tree is not linear. You can go down one side doing things and then go down another side doing other things, and it's cool. It's quite cool. So we want to research the one here. You can also pick here. Here's all the research in the list here. So you can just pick one here. If it's yellow, you can do it. If it's red, you can't do it right now. And if it's green, you've done it. So let's research that. And that says that it takes 15 seconds. What that means is it's 15 seconds per research pack. So it's going to take 45 seconds in total because it has to do 3. And this can process, said research in 15 seconds for each one item in there. So it can process, yeah, 3 every, takes 45 seconds to complete this one thing because it needs 3 there. The speed of the research depends on the research itself. So it's kind of difficult to know how many research packs you're going to, you know how many you're going to need, but it's kind of difficult to know how long it's going to take to do them. So, yeah. Okay. So there's our emergency beacon done. Bop.
Got it. We now have the beacon blueprint. Craft it and place it, but not too close to your existing machines. Those drop pods tend to land right on top of the beacons.
Okie dokie. So we want to put this down somewhere out the way. Let's go over here somewhere if we can. No, can't put it here because there's vegetation on top. So we need to find somewhere where we can actually do it. So let me chop down a couple of trees. We'll place it down. We'll push the button in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I am very much looking forward to playing through the game with this new update that's come along, because it's awesome. I very much like what they've added to the game. Cool. We shall carry on in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope to see you again in the next one. And until then, as always, have fun.